Hello. So today we are talking about Dunville's whiskey. This is a peated edition. This is not typical for your distillery because most of your whiskies are unpeated and fresh, fruity from the sherry or other wine casks.
Yeah, most Dunvilles would be old world casks, be that predominantly sherry, bit of port, bit of rum. Dunville 3 Drives Peated, it's the only peated expression we do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a blended whiskey, it's not a single malt.
Yes.
It's a blended whiskey, so to keep that balance, it's got a light peat influence. We're not trying to make a Letterball 16 or Noctamore. We're trying to make a very lightly peated Irish blended whiskey.
And peat is from Ireland or this is Scottish peat?
So, in actual fact, with this one, we're doing it a different way. So, in the same way as our sherry whiskies, we'll take the sherry influence from the cask.
Yes.
With this one, the peat is coming from the cask influence.
Okay.
So what we do is we bring in Laphroaig, ex-Laphroaig 10-year-old cask, and we put a 5-year, 6-year blend into that cask for maybe 3 years. And that cask just imparts a really gentle smoked peat, probably without the iodine, without that more medicinal note, but it gives you that peated note, but not so much the medicinal note.
So when we are talking that this is a blended whiskey, could you tell a little bit more about the spirit, about the whiskeys? There are 3 fine crafted whiskies inside. So this is not a blend like Johnny Walker. Yes, this is.
So we will use a 5-year malt that's been matured in bourbon. We'll use a 5-year grain that's been matured in bourbon. We'll use a 7-year grain that's been matured in bourbon. We will marry those 3 whiskies together, and then we will put that married whiskey into that Laphroaig cask for maybe 2 to 3 years.
Okay, so it's 7-8 years old.
It's 7 to 8 years old. Probably the youngest whiskey is 7 years old. The oldest whiskey is about 9 years old. And it's a whiskey that's just a fun. It's a barbecue whiskey. It's a whiskey with fish, with cheese. It's a whiskey that works really well at a barbecue with food, with red meats. We're not trying to make a really big peated Islay whiskey. We're trying to make an Irish blended version of a peated whiskey, which is lighter, sweeter, more accessible. In some ways, a peated whiskey for non-peated whiskey drinkers, if that makes sense. And just one, again, our 3 Crowns range is really good spirit, but it's not a spirit you sit down and overanalyze. You just have it and it works. So burger, cheeses, salmon, fish, barbecue.
Okay. And the grain, this is maize. This is the
It'll be maize grain, yeah. It'll be maize grain.
Okay. So that's. It's peated. It's not lightly peated. Yes, we can find all of those Laphroaig style, the medicines.
Funny, like anybody who knows Islay whiskies immediately calls this out as a Laphroaig cask. It's so obviously Laphroaig in its flavor profile. I think there's more peat on the nose than there is in the palate.
Okay.
It tends to come in on the palate. It tends to come in at the end, and leaves you with that lovely drying peat sensation. But it's not on the front of the palate. It's just on the back. But it's there more on the nose. But
also
again,
some sweet apples.
but again, because it's a single malt and not a blend, it's a blend and not a single malt, so there's grain whiskey in there. So if you try and put too much peat into it, you'll just lose all those delicate grain notes. So the lighter peat influence is to work with that grain whiskey rather than the peat, rather than the malt.
So the first aroma is peat, but under fruits, it's maybe a little bit of honey.
You'll get those honey notes. You'll get those bourbonesque notes, those caramels, vanillas. You'll get, to me, you get a mixture of red and white apple, sort of stewed.
Pear.
There's stewed orchard fruits like
Plum.
ripe pear, almost like an apple apple strudel type notes there. Maybe not as heavy, but apple tart, baked apples, and that's like sugary pastry.
Yes. Yes.
And maybe a dollop of cream on top. So stewed apples, pastry, cream is probably to me what's there, you know.
Yes, because this is also like a sugar cane.
But I mean, it's 70% grain whiskey, so you're gonna have those higher sugar notes of that grain whiskey.
Okay, so let's.
And then it's all about the balance. It's all about not giving too much peat, not overpowering that grain whiskey with the peat, and getting the balance right. Got the slanch it?
Medicinal, herbal.
Herbal, yes.
I'm finding wormwood, the bitterness like from the wormwood.
Yeah.
And a little bit spicy.
Yeah. There's a dryness there, but it takes a long time to dry out. But in the end, it does dry out, whereas peated whiskeys dry out. But there's a juiciness there from those orchard fruits that really hangs about and elongates the finish. To me, so Dunville's make a lot of big, interesting, complex whiskies, and you've tried a few today. Our single cask range, our sherry cask finishes, our paddle 21s and other 20s. They're whiskies you sit down and you spend half an hour analysing and they change. Our Three Crowns range just does what it says on the bottle. It's a good quality whiskey that you just pour in the afternoon, early evening, just drink it, and it's good quality whiskey that does what it's meant to do.
But Three Crowns, this is also the old Irish
so
label, yes?
So Dunville's whiskey dates back to 1808. It's one of the oldest Irish whiskey brands. By the 1890s, Dunville's was the largest whiskey brand in the world. It fell silent in 1936, and we brought the brand back in 2012. And through the label and the style of whiskey and those sherry casks, we're paying homage and we're respecting the old brand. And our mission statement was twofold: to make whiskey without compromise, and to put Dunville's back at the top table of world whiskies. And anybody who makes whiskey knows that's a 50-year project. You don't do that in 5 years or 10 years. That's a long-term project. We're 10 years into it. We're winning awards. We're making good whiskey, but we're only 10 years in. We've a lot to learn yet.
Okay.
But I'm proud of this whiskey. It does something different from the standard Dunville's range.
Okay, slanch.
Cheers.
A dla Was mam oczywiście konkurs. Nagrodą będą 2 bilety wejściowe na festiwal Warsaw Spirits Competition. Wylosuje je osoba. Wpisujcie pod postem na YouTube, jakie są Wasze ulubione irlandzkie whisky. Dziękuję bardzo i do zobaczenia z butelką tygodnia za tydzień.